So after 3 weeks, where are we? I'm going to tell you. The Eagles are the best team in the NFC, and Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and happy Victory Monday to all you Dingbats out there. I hope you've enjoyed this win over the last 24 hours, because I know I have. It was an impressive win, a really impressive win, and I gotta say this. As of right now, week 3, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, and Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. That's just facts, man. That's just facts. Now, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure to hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe for Eagles content daily, all live streams. You know how we do it. And if you've been subscribed for a while, just double check, double moonwalk check. Make sure you're still subscribed. Now, a quick announcement. I will be streaming Giants Cowboys tonight. I bet $100. I got the Giants money line and the over. I took the 2-game parlay for $100, went $253, I think it was. So I got the Giants and the over. So we'll see what happens. But I will be streaming this game. There is a possibility I may be a few minutes late, only because coming from work, it's always hard to get home exactly on time. But I'm going to do my best. But I will be streaming tonight, and it's going to be a lot of fun. No question about it. Now, one more thing I gotta say. I'm sorry if I didn't get to everybody's comments in all my videos yesterday. It's been a really, really hectic, busy day. So I will get to that, I promise. Now, let's talk about this game, okay? Let's talk about yesterday. Let's talk about where we go from here. There's just so much going on with this team. I absolutely love this team. I love this team. I love the way that they're constructed. I love the way that they're built. I love the personalities on this team. This is a very likable team, as well as being, I think, the most talented team. I think in a lot of ways, they're more talented than they were in 2017. The question is how ready are they to go far in the playoffs? We're going to see. So far, so good. Jalen Hurts. When you look at Jalen Hurts, he's got to be, and it's early yet, I know, but just in terms of trying to figure out where he belongs right now early in the season, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's got to be an MVP legitimate candidate. If they were voting today, he would have to be a top 3 candidate, okay? He has been absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. Now, I said before the season, and people ask me, like, how long are you going to give Jalen Hurts to decide whether you think he's the guy or not? And I can say this. Right now, my emotional response to that and how I feel is I want to say give him the contract right now. Obviously, they can't give him a contract until he completes his 3rd full season. But I feel like the way he's played, what he's shown, I mean, his footwork is better, his throwing motion is better, his accuracy is better, he reads defenses much better. What I've seen in the first 3 weeks, if Jalen Hurts can consistently do that the rest of the year, I'll say give me to week 8 and week 10. That's what I said before the season. I need at least 8 to 10 weeks before I really will make a judgment. But so far, he's on the trajectory to get $50 million. So he's going to get a big contract, and he deserves it. He's just got to go out and be consistent now. But right now, he's well on his way. His improvements have been absolutely fantastic. I love what we've seen from Jalen Hurts, and I think he's the real deal. I think he's only going to get better. You know, people are so quick to judge people, right? And I do it too, to a certain extent. We all do. But you could look at a guy and say, oh, he's not that fast. He don't have that great hands. He can't do this. He can't do that. We do that in everyday life. But you can't judge what is inside of a guy, you know? That was the whole thing when people would ridicule the Eagles drafting Jordan Davis. Oh, well, why did you draft Jordan Davis? Why did you draft Jordan Davis? He's going to be like Albert Hainsworth. You don't know what's in a man's heart. You don't know what he's got inside. That carries more weight than sometimes not having all the tools, this or the other. Remember they complained Jalen Hurts don't have an arm. Arm looks good to me. It looks fine to me. His accuracy in the deep ball has gotten much better. So Jalen Hurts is well on his way to getting a contract extension. He deserves it. I'm falling in love with him. Pause. Big pause. But you know what I'm trying to say. Where he is from last year so far is absolutely fantastic. You look at the first game, right? You have a Detroit Lions team. Man, they blitzed the crap out of the Eagles, and he beats them with his legs. The next week, you get the Minnesota Vikings who basically try to keep him in the pocket and not blitz everybody. He kills them with his arm. And then yesterday, the Washington, they try to really take away the run game, and he beats them with his arm again. So Jalen Hurts is doing it differently. The Eagles' offense, they're putting points on the board every week. Different ways, and I absolutely love it. Now, a lot of people are complaining, and the big talk is, well, they got to score points in the second half. They got to score points in the second half. Are you concerned about that? I'm not concerned about it because they've been beating the crap out of every team they've played by halftime. Okay, I think they have to clean it up, and I think they will, and I think they got to stay a little more aggressive deeper into the game. But I'm not overly concerned right now. I think it's more of a cleanup issue, something you got to fix that is very fixable. Okay. They'll be fine. And that's what we got to see. We got to see consistency. Yesterday was such an emotional game because it was Carson Wentz game. And I could have imagined this game going this way, that way, so many different ways. I could never imagine it being this perfect. 9 sacks on Carson Wentz. And a lot of it came with just straight up pressure from your front four. But it was good to see them get going. It was good to see Hassan Reddick get going, Josh Sweat get going, Brandon Graham. I mean, Brandon Graham looked like an all-star yesterday. I can't believe he's coming back from an Achilles. That is not easy to do. Usually that kind of injury, especially an older guy, you look slower. He looks great. Shout out to Brandon Graham, man. Shout out that whole defensive line group. They were fantastic, And I want to say this. I think T.J. Edwards is turning into a Pro Bowl type linebacker. I think he's that good. And that's why you don't see Nakobe Dean as much, because T.J. Edwards is that good right now. So it's really absolutely fantastic. And another guy I have to praise that we don't talk about enough. We haven't talked about enough the first 3 weeks. I mean, I've mentioned him a couple times, but James Bradberry has been lights out. I mean, lights out. Pretty much this whole season. Started the year with a pick 6, shuts out Thielen, does a great job yesterday on Dotson. I mean, he barely saw him. So James Bradberry is the best second cornerback in the NFL, I think, right now. And you know what I love about the Eagles? You have a guy like Darius Slay, and they have a guy like Bradberry. I think Bradberry does really good, especially on big physical receivers, more so than Slay. Slay, I think, handles speed a little better. They're both good, and they're both kind of different, but they complement each other very good. And then you have Avonte Maddox in the slot. They were good, and James Bradberry was good yesterday. And we got to give him credit, man. The Eagles need to find a way. If I'm the Eagles, right, you're probably going to have 2 first-round picks to play with next year, right? So I say you got to get a defensive end and then get a corner. Try to bring back Slay and Bradberry if you can, and then you have a first-round corner, learn behind those guys for a year. That's what I would like to see happen in a perfect world. But we'll see. But, I mean, yesterday, those guys were good. Edwards was good. Bradberry was good. And, we beat the crap out of Washington. It was one of those games where you never felt like Washington could ever come back. They couldn't mount a comeback. And Carson Wentz, I got to tell you, he does not look the same. Especially when he has pressure and he can't move in the pocket. He's stationary. Did you see the couple times he tried to run? He is slow, man. Fat man's run. Woogie is slow. I don't know what happened to Woogie. I mean, I know in 2017 when he got hurt, he was a little slower than he was, but he still moved around in 2019. He looked all right. Now he looks like he's aged 10 years in a year and a half. He don't look good. And I think Washington's in trouble. I don't know if he's going to make it through the whole season without getting pulled. I just don't. But he had no chance yesterday. And it wasn't all his fault. Some of it is holding the ball too long. But it wasn't all his fault. That line was just getting destroyed. The Eagles' defensive line just destroyed them. So Shout out to the defense. Shout out to Jonathan Gannon because you got to give him credit. He shut them down, and this Eagle defense is tough. This is a tough team. And then I want to talk about the wide receivers real quick. As I was just saying about you have Bradberry and Slay, and they're like the perfect complement. How about AJ Brown and my man Devonte Smith, who is a man. He's a man, a skinny man, but he's a man. All right, that compliment of a big physical receiver like him, and then this really great polished route runner like Devonte Smith, that is a nasty combination, and we are lucky to have it. The Eagles right now, this shouldn't even be a debate. Eagles have the best cornerback tandem in the NFC East, and they have the best wide receiver tandem. A.J. Brown is better than CeeDee Lamb. Devonte Smith is better than CeeDee Lamb. Their top two receivers are better than anything Dallas has. So the Eagles, I'm very impressed with this win. And the reason I'm impressed with this win, and I think this is a big-time win, it's a division game coming off of your home opener on Monday night, which was a very emotional win. Okay? At times in the past, we've seen Eagles teams kind of come out a little flat after that big Monday night home opener. This team didn't. They came out and they took it to them, okay? And if they can just be consistent. Right now, all we need from like Jalen Hurts and his team, just consistency. Just be consistent, and everything is going to work out. This Eagles team, I'm going to say this right now. People ain't going to hear it. The Eagles can get the number one seed. They have a path to be the number one seed because their schedule isn't that good. Let's face it, they got the Jaguars, the Cardinals, the Dallas coming up. They got Pittsburgh coming up at home. They can beat them. They got the Colts are beatable. Tennessee is beatable. The only team that really is a what if, I think, is Green Bay. That's going to be a hell of a game and a hell of a matchup late in the year. New Orleans, they don't look like they're that good. So I think this team very well can go and be the number one seed. If they're not number one seed, nobody's coming in. Nobody's coming into Philly and beating them. So this team has a bright future, and this year is going to be a hell of a year. Buckle up because this thing's going to get crazy. It is going to be fun. But what we need now, consistency. They got to come out next week. They're playing Doug Peterson, Jags. Can't take them lightly. It's very important to get to 4-0. But I'm telling you, I think the win yesterday versus Washington, based upon going and traveling, even though it was like a home crowd, and shout out to the crowd that was there, man. Shout out to all those guys. I know Philly Mike, LB, they were there yesterday. Shout out to all those guys for going out there and making it like a home stadium. But, coming off the Monday night game, short week, where everybody's talking about how great you are to go out and do what they did against Washington, I think it's impressive. Now we got to do it again versus Jaguars. So my final thoughts on this game are the Eagles are for real. It was the perfect fitting first meeting for Carson Wentz. And when he comes back to Philly later on in the year, we got some more for you, Carson. We got some more for you, Woogie. Be ready. Ice up, son, because we're coming for that ass again. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. Just a quick reminder, I will be streaming Giants, Cowboys. Should be an interesting game. I'm not a believer in Cooper Rush like some of these Cowboy fans are. So I think they got a long night ahead of them. And I'm going to see what Saquon Barkley does against the Dallas Cowboys because I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Saquon Barkley. It's going to be a very interesting game, a very fun game. And as an Eagle fan, we get to just sit back and enjoy. Like, really, we just get to go watch two rivals beat the crap out of each other because we're 3-0, baby. We're 3-0. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And remember, Denzel Washington out.